Hi, welcome! My name is Edgar, and I'm the Graftoloco. In this video, I want to show you how I remake an ice base I did years ago for one of my miniatures of Cannis Wolfborn. The paint job of the mini is a bit old, but it's still okay, so I don't wanna change it. But unfortunately, the ice base, it doesn't look very great. More than an iceberg, it looks like a coprolite from a troll. I came across this YouTuber called Emile, and he has a channel called Squidmar Miniatures. And he has done some amazing tutorials on how to do a lot of stuff. But one of them is an ice base for another space wolf. And seriously, it looks astounding. So I thought maybe I can replicate that somehow for mine. For this project you will need UV resin, a UV torch or sunlight, some cork, some piece of wood, snow powder for modeling, and some paints. I use the cork to make the base. I glue some pieces with the shape of the base with hot glue gun. Now I add some piece of wood with an interesting shape. I just found that one that it looks perfect. I recommend you that every time you go to the forest or something, just bring with you a small little bag to gather some useful stuff. There is beauty in nature. Now, using a cheap modeling paste, I start to fill up the gaps. With a rubber brush, I begin to make some shapes on the clay. Using just a regular normal brush with water, I smooth everything. And now just giving some more definition on the shapes with the rubber brush again. Once the modeling paste is fully dry, I prime the base with Army Painter Primer Wolf Grey. And then, with the airbrush, I start to establish some highlights with Liquitex Titanium White. I want these eyes to look different than usual. And I got some ideas from an anime called Attack on Titans. There is this crystalline substance that is hard as diamond, and it looks like an ice with a slightly violet tone. So I thought that might be found in the planet where Cannis is fighting. The light of the stars is cold, or the bacteria from the water, it generates this color unknown to us. I use scale color 75 INKTENSE VIOLET. With the help of the airbrush, I begin to apply on the deepest shadows. I like this violet tone because it's gonna give him a very alien look. I just recently started to work with inks, and I have to tell you, every time I love them more. Now, with a makeup brush, I start to dry brush with Vallejo Foundation White. Dry brushing is a technique that will help to enhance the shapes of the rough surfaces, and also it helps us some lighting source. Now it's time to create some more contrast with the ink again, and trying to go for all the detail and all the little recesses. I make a combination of like very pure ink and some little points, and then just like with diluting them a lot, I make all the shading. I mean, just enjoying the process. Now for the final highlights, I like to use again the ink Liquitex Titanium White. In that way, I'm creating more contrast. And also I keeping in mind that the ice is not just a translucent material but also reflective. So I'm looking for some highlights and where it can be reflected from another source. Okay, now that the paint job is all done, I quickly give him a layer of gloss varnish with the airbrush.
Did you know our scientists had created blue stuff? A new thermoplastic compound useful to make molds from anything in seconds. And it's reusable. Would you like to know more? Let us know in the comments below.
At that point, I try to make some molds from stones like Emile does in his video. But unfortunately my base was too complex on the shape, so I make a kind of like a gamble. I try to outmold the original shape from the base with the blue stuff. Once the molds are cold, I can remove them from the base and fill them with the UV resin. And using the UV torch, it hardens like super quickly. But unfortunately, as I say, I make a gamble with it and just a little corner of the paint and weight come off from the cork, so I had to fix it up later on. But anyway, everything else it was quite good. Listen, using resin, it is a complete mess. So make sure to wear some gloves, and extreme precautions. Do not do like I do. I'm a mess. Right, now that the molds are all done, I try to glue them or place them on the base. I think I need to break them a bit to be able to put them on the right place where I want it. And that's kind of like a tedious process. So I use this super glue and I don't know why it doesn't want to harden. So yeah, at the end the best solution was to use the same UV resin to glue all the pieces together. I first used the green Stufff UV resin, but I quickly ran out, and then I started to use this other brand from China, and it's not working quite the same. It doesn't cure as fast with the UV torch, but it does it very fast in the sunlight. Once I'm happy with the result, I start to make the mix for the snow. You need some PVA glue, snow powder, water, talc, more snow, medium, more water, mix it all well and voila. I know some of you will say that that recipe for snow is kind of crazy, but what you want me to tell you? I told you already, I'm loco.
You hear me? I'm not insane!
Now that the snow is ready, I apply it with a cheap brush. I just put it like, I don't know, chunks of it on the recesses and the corners, all the top surfaces, like thinking snow falling. With another crappy brush, I begin to smash the snow I apply already to give them a bit more randomness. You know, like trying how snow might behave, like being melted away or being fresh, or someone has been walked on, you know, that kind of things. And now I'm getting some little chunks of snow and I drop them randomly on the surface of the base. In this way I give the base a bit more interest. At that point I realized that the snow has been covering most of the ice and you couldn't see some of the details, so I had to tidy up a bit and that's it. And now for the final review. Okay guys, this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to subscribe to check my future content. Thanks, bye!